Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special momentive moment of hey Rob, are you there?
Yep.
Oh, g'day. I was just telling Rob, I think I've been publicly abused by the media.
No.
Yeah, I have.
How?
Well, I found this video on the internet.
There's quite a few videos on the internet. Didn't you want to narrow it down?
Well, this isn't one that I've produced. This is one that somebody else produced. And they've been telling me about it for ages. And it's popped up.
It popped up, did it?
And the very first look of it, there's Sam Lee. And it looks like somebody. Yeah, just see that Sam Lee thing? He's got love hearts.
Oh, it must be Sam.
And it's got the words on it. It says, "You are a real piece of doot, 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 doot." I don't know what it's about. Quite excited about it, actually. But no, they've released it finally after waiting 10 months, providing multiple media companies. They've decided to actually publish a video. And I was watching it and think, wonder if I'll actually get a look in.
Yeah. Are you on it?
Yeah. No, I'm on it a little bit.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
you're not all the way through it, though, are you?
Well, it might be. It's 18 minutes long. It's the shortest video that I've actually been in because my long-form content. I said to somebody today, a young fella, that I've got 1,900 videos in it, and I just carried on talking. He said, "What? Did you just say you have 1,900 videos on the internet?" And I said, "Yeah, what's your point?" He said, "How long have you been doing it for?" And I said, 3 years. I said, "You must do 2 or 3 videos a day." And I go, "What's your point?" That's quite a lot of videos, isn't it? It's like being in rehab.
And this one's by Bloomberg.
Yeah, have you heard of them?
So this is, well, I've heard of Michael.
Who's that?
Michael Bloomberg.
Never heard of him.
He's the big guy. He's the guy that ran for president. He owns this thing.
Oh, right. So is he like a Donald Trump, but not Donald Trump?
He's a shorter version. Comes from New York as well, I think.
Oh, I'm excited. Hey, look, Dragon Knight's in here. Have we met before? Is he convicted yet? Oh, that's the first engagement we've got. We'll put that across the top. And Dragon Knight wants to know whether Sam Lee is convicted yet. Do you want to answer that, Rob? So, I don't know how to answer that. I'd let him down nicely.
Has he been convicted? He's been charged, hasn't been convicted yet. And apparently, you're going to learn that he's actually been inside.
That's why he had that fuzzy haircut when we saw him when he came out a wee while ago. I couldn't figure that one out.
It could have. I did not put 2 and 2 together and come up with that.
No, this is actually probably 3 years of in the making video. And I've been interviewed by quite a few journalists, and often they take my information and run, and I never get any credit. But this company sent around a film crew, and they had all the big flash cameras and lights, and they filmed me for 6.5 hours. Well, I actually think it was 6 hours and 32 minutes to be exact, but I was quite excited at the time.
It probably took them that long to get your good side.
Yeah, and they set up a laptop, and there I was talking to a reporter who was in the UK. And he went to work at 10 o'clock at night, so he could talk to me at, I think it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, my time. So it was quite exciting.
That report that you spoke to is not the same one that we're about to see, is it?
No, it wasn't actually. It was kind of like I thought I was on, what's that TV program? Mastermind. Because they had me all lit up pretty cool, and they had me mic'd up, and then they told me not to move, and told me to look straight ahead and don't look at the other camera on the other side. And it must have got so good, the interview, because at one point there, the camera overheated. And if you were watching this, the cameraman, I know why it overheated now, because my camera had the same problem. There's a setting that you changed on your camera that you shouldn't have, and I've had the same problem.
Our next contestant is Danny DeHeck with a specialist subject, crypto Ponzi schemes. Your first question.
As you've got that ducking thing going on, now we're live, but we didn't have it when we was in pre-rehearsal and we spent 4 hours recording this video.
I don't look like a duck at all, Danny.
No, quack. Should we start listening to some of the video? Because we'll be...
Let's roll it.
All right, let's go. Now, this is... If you're under the age of 18, you'll block your ears for the first part. Here we go. It's not going to work.
You are a real piece of if you believe I have taken your money. You just...
Hold it a minute. I need to turn up the sound. We're starting that again.
You are a real piece of if you believe I have taken your money. You destroyed your dreams when you stopped believing in me.
There are two sides.
That was the lovely reporter. She is awesome. I was really proud to be interviewed by her. She asked me all these amazing questions. Anyway, this one, that's Alison.
Alison?
Yep.
Hi, Alison. Nice to meet you, almost.
Yep. No, it's cool. I feel like we're sisters from another brother.
To Sam Lee.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'd like to introduce you to my girlfriend. We all know who I'm talking about right here. It's Bitcoin.
With HyperVerse and Blockchain Global, he's championed the potential of cryptocurrencies.
Bitcoin is just part of the fintech revolution. We're able to democratize currency, just like how the internet democratized information.
He's appeared on a range of news channels, and he's also received celebrity endorsements.
It's Steve Wozniak here.
Isn't that the Apple guy?
That is the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak. He was obviously hard up for a few bob that day.
They had actually two other people that were using the same platform to get dollars for endorsing products they knew nothing about. One was a famous singer, and then we had, oh, that's right. It was, who's the guy that gave it the thumbs up? He's got the Chuck Norris.
Yeah, yes, there was Chuck Norris. I didn't know about
right.
that, but yeah, there was definitely Chuck Norris.
Endorsed by Chuck Norris, and he used to do something like, I've forgotten his thing. But there's also a young fella who was like he endorsed HyperVerse. They didn't even know what the HyperVerse was, so it was quite funny. I remember him unsuccessfully doing ASX iPro. Hey, after the so we've got after the gold rush in here as well. Nice to see you in here. God's Sam sounds like a Russell. Oh, I can't read that word. Can you see my chat room?
I am about to extend my screen.
I'll put it on the screen. You read the words that go across the top, because if I read them...
Because back in 2017, 2018, he was a nice guy. We met him in Melbourne Blockchain Centre and in Shanghai Blockchain Centre. I'm surprised he turned out to be a beep. Dragon Knight also said, I remembered him unsuccessfully doing an ASX IPO. That's Australian Stock Exchange initial public offering.
I think that was the one that lost the 58 million, and then they took off with Ryan Jew.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Blockchain Global.
Yeah, well, Brian Jew actually, you won't know this because no one's actually said this, but they had an offer where Ryan was going to pay he's going to pay Sam 400 Bitcoin and 1.5 or $1.9 million to actually buy the shares that Sam owned in Blockchain Global. And within Blockchain Global, they own the exchange. So I think we've actually met Dragon Knight, haven't we, via email. All right, back to Kosnak. Here we go.
Apple co-founder, and I'm here to support HyperVerse.
He's got big nostrils, isn't he? They have big nostrils. I mean, it shows you that you can be quite a talent, but have big nostrils and you're okay.
But on the other hand, there's this whole other side to Sam Lee's story.
Your life has been a complete and utter failure.
I always wonder if he's talking to me when he said that, but I think he's talking to Garrett, who's been quite a useful source of information.
I think you're right.
Or was it, it wasn't the other guy, the one that we used to, I've forgotten his name. Oh my God, Tammy and...
Gobi.
Gobi. It could have been Gobi, and I think he was on a boat when this. So many videos we have watched, hours and hours of entertainment we've had with Sam Lee. I miss Sam Lee, I'm just saying. Anyway, you ready?
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
As you continue to blame me for what I am not responsible for.
When HyperVerse collapsed in 2022, investors lost close to $2 billion.
It was a very dark time. Get a real sense of shame and guilt about it.
US authorities charged Lee with fraud, alleging that
I do like the graphics they've used and the way they've done it. It's really interesting. If I really wanted to edit my videos, I'd probably do something similar.
Well, yeah. I'll be holding my breath waiting, Danny.
Imagine editing 1900 videos. That's why you're going to be holding your breath. Yeah. All right, let's carry on. Who do you think the other two people under the pyramid are with the squished out faces? Do you think they're just there for the show of it?
I don't know. I thought one of them could be Stephen Reese Lewis or whatever his real name is, and the
That's
other
that
one,
right, mate. Stephen Reese Lewis.
yeah, the other one looks a little bit like our friend Gobi, doesn't it? Maybe.
Well, it could be. I don't think Gobi's ever wore a tie. He does on Sundays, though, because he's off to church, isn't he?
that promised returns were funded in what they called a pyramid and a Ponzi scheme. And yet, he's promoting new ventures from a place that has no extradition treaty with the US.
Hi and welcome back. There is multi-trillion dollars to be made from paradigm shifts.
There are people all
The interesting thing about that video, I found Sam's YouTube channel, and I actually fed that to the reporter. And that video that you're looking at the time, this is a couple of weeks old, this now, is only a month old. And there's Sam now got a whole... Did you know Sam's a YouTuber?
He's probably got it monetized as well and making more money than us.
Last time I looked, he had 41 followers. And if you want to find Sam Lee's YouTube channel, search for Ask Sam Lee. Ask Sam Lee. It's at Ask Sam Lee. So us, you know.
all over the world trying.
Jesus Christ! Who's that guy?
Where did he come from?
I'm not wearing the same shirt. Maybe I should put that shirt on for this interview because it looks like the oranges are... Yeah. Let's just savor that up. There are people all over the world trying to track him down. I know where he is. I knew his driver. I knew where he lived in Russell Kmart, wherever it was. I knew he lived with his sister, and I knew he lived with his mother. And I, at one point, had his phone contacts that he... You know how you save your phone contacts on your SIM card? I had all his... I still have them, but I have all his historical phone contacts for all his family. So that's how much I got. And then I handed it all over to Bloomberg. Sorry, Sam. That's what we do. We're here to name and shame anyone, even Sam Lee. So hopefully, All right, I'm skiting now. Stop it.
To track him down.
We'll see money going from one scam to fund another scam. It's like money laundering, crypto style. Looking a bit podgy around the stomach. Look at this. This is the part.
You had your works that morning.
He was married. He wasn't married, actually. Did you know that? Insider information here. He had a simulated wedding, and the vows and the consummation never... Well, the consummation might have happened knowing Sam, but he was very drunk that night. But he's not actually legally married, and he was married in Thailand. And the reason he was in Thailand is because he was claiming he was opening up another blockchain center. But when I put the video out with Sam's married, we found out that he had 4 mistresses, and the 4th one came out of the woodwork after I released the video. And she lived in China, and she was going to move over. She came over to Dubai while he was married, had a night with him, and then went back to China and was packing up her belongings, and she was going to move to Dubai to be with her love of her life. It was only when she watched my video she realized he was already married. How about that?
So, is he married? And if so, to whom?
Anne. I have her passport.
Oh.
Well, we just have people that want us to have that certain type of information. But Anne was meant to be lovely. However, she wasn't formally, legally married to Sam. So she's probably happy about that now. Because Sam's got no money. That's what everyone thinks. Sam's got money. He's got no money. Because he tells me all the time.
But wasn't he a billionaire?
Yes. And he was teaching people how to be gazillionaires.
And because he was a billionaire, he was able to buy Bitcoin at discounted prices, remember?
Yes, and if you listened to Sam at the start and everything he said, you would have been a gazillionaire, because Sam reckons that he's just a ball of information. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's made so much money. That's how he got to be a role model.
Hey, that's my words. It's like money laundering crypto style.
The question is, will Lee ever face justice?
There he is. There he is. Hey, Sam. It's Danny.
Mate, he reminds me of Charlie Chan on those old movies with Bruce Lee.
Isn't Bruce Lee a hero? Look, if Bruce Lee come out and started promoting a Ponzi scheme, I'd sign up. Yeah, he could jump like ninja style from one thing to the other. Did you watch him in Ocean 11? Was that him? No, that was another guy.
Bruce Lee.
No, I'm thinking of another weird guy.
Oh my God, Bruce Lee, Sam Lee. Bruce Lee could be Sam Lee's dad.
That could be the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle.
Oh my God.
We never, how many Lees are in the world? Like how many Dehecks are in the world?
There can't be too many Lees, particularly in China.
I do park run every week, try to, and it's a 5K run around your park. And there's a guy in park run called Rob Woolley. But there's no one in the world called Danny DeHeck. But I can guarantee you there's a few people called Sam Lee. I just have to laugh about that. Hey, we've got another comment coming in from Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight, you're very vocal today. That's what we like to hear. Dragon Knight, I was thinking he was a B-level guy because of the blockchain centre in Melbourne. I guess it's a big show. I don't know.
Yeah, remember that big show that they had in Dubai? When was that? A year ago with the what do they call them? The wrapped McLaren car.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry, I forgot the McLaren. Okay, McLaren's not really in my vocabulary very often. I presume that's the sports car. Yeah.
A lot of this is just like you put on the big show. They had a wrapped McLaren, and it had it had some kind of green thing on there, didn't it? And it was about Boomerang.
Yeah.
And there was Pavel who made his one cameo.
Oh, Rob, I got to tell you, Boomerang 2.0 is getting released tomorrow. Are you up for it?
Release.
Yeah, there was a newsletter thing out. So they've already discounted 250,000 a day with Boomerang 1 that we, and I'll say we, because I did have some part in it, but you sat there and nutted out how they were doing the fake arbitrage trading, and they've now taken it off, refunded everyone into a fake worthless token, into BTCC, and now tomorrow Shavez is relaunching what failed into version 2. And I'm not even interested in busting it or getting up in the morning and watching the damn thing. It just gets ridiculous.
So when you say this is a launch, is this like a big launch? Is this like that never-ending launch, never ever launch that happened last time with Boomerang 1.0?
Well, you actually brought me a flashback then. That's when we were like, every day we were sitting there ready for the launch, but then they had the pre-launch, launch, and it just got stupider and stupider to the point where when they did have the launch, it failed. And then that was the launch.
But what Danny is leaving out is that there's a little bit of subtle competition between the Danster and the Robster. And when we finally got to the launch, none of us wanted to go to sleep and risk not getting in the Zoom meeting. So we stayed up all night at different places, got into the Zoom meeting, and I had something like 375 people on my live, and Danny had about 40 or so.
Yeah.
And I lost, what happened? I lost sound, so I had to get it off with.
Yeah. So we were piggybanking the lives, and of course they were maxed out at 1,000 people in their Zoom meeting, so they couldn't get any more. And I had the only connection, but because everyone was maxed out, they searched, and that day Rob must have had better search terms. And when people were searching for launch of Boomerang, Rob's channel come up before mine.
Yeah, critical thinker, mate. They went to the critical thinker, and I'm crossing over to you and Crypto G, trying to rip your sound because I didn't have any, and I was saying, "Oh, just shut up!" But of course, you couldn't hear me, and then I lost my feed, so I was actually piggybacking Danny's entire show.
And getting the number, and he was getting the traffic as well. Now, just a very good point here after the gold rush is look at Sam Lee's bags under his eyes. What's that about? Is that too much cocaine, you reckon?
I think that's where he stores his money.
All right, we're going again. Ready? Here we go. Okay. Wow. Now, we're probably going to get done for copyright strikes with the music. I just didn't think of that. So if you're wondering why I went a bit gibbery there, or there's no music, that was why. I've paused it right now. So what's it say? Dubai's billion-dollar crypto underworld. Oh, black screen. Oh, that's nice. That's Kent.
It's got to be the UK, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Halfway.
Halfway houses in New Zealand is where criminals hang out. And it's a free house, halfway house. What's a free house? Anyone in the comments want to tell us what a free house is? Free house, halfway house. Is that like...
or was it beer house? It could be free.
No, it's free. It must mean that free means it's available instead of saying no vacancy like we do in New Zealand. Anyway, let's carry on.
I suppose I first got involved with Hyperfund about August 2021. My name is Rupert Honeywood, very happily married with one 28-year-old son and a dog and a cat. And needless to say, the wife is boss of the house, probably very closely followed by the dog.
Oh, shit.
I'm a little bit of...
Hold it. We've lost it now. Where'd you go?
I'm still here.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I pushed the wrong button. You disappeared there. I thought, oh, where's Rob go? I didn't like the way he said the wife is the boss of the house. I don't.
Yeah.
Is that like something that I should get therapy for?
He's obviously not a good decision maker.
Wow. Yeah. Well, the other scam that we helped somebody with a wee while ago, I reckon they lost $500,000.
Wait, help someone get in a scam?
Out of the scam. Well, they lost their money to Roy Con Archer, as I always say his name wrong. They sold 3 houses and then they put all their money in with him. But the husband was the one that got convinced by the mate, which was Roy, and then the wife was sitting there going, oh, I don't think we should, honey. And the husband said, oh, no, I've researched it. I'm all good to go. So she trusted her husband. So any wives out there, don't trust your husband. But I still don't like the fact that he said that I think it should be equal. Because I think that's a bit sexist to say the wife runs the house. I mean,
sexist. Oh, sorry, sexist.
Yeah, because I wear the pants in the house, Rob, but Helen picks out which ones.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Good to know you come around.
Yeah, here we go.
The geek. I love technology. I do love to dabble and play with things. I think with crypto, what's really exciting is it completely cuts out the middleman. On Saturdays, you would have what they class as a leadership call, and it was very...
Got to stop on that. It cuts out the middleman. It also cuts out the policeman.
Oh, morons.
Yeah, so I reckon. I mean, like, let's take away the law. Okay. Yeah.
All right, losing 5 to 10% to the middleman is the least of your worries.
Yeah, and this was the part where I wish they actually banged up old Keith Williams and Kalpesh Patel, because he would have been in the Saturday Mort training with old, rest his soul, karma caught up with him, Keith Williams, because that's how I got started. My first Zoom meeting ever where I gate crashed was going to a Zoom meeting with Keith Williams and asking him how he slept at night, scamming people. And he gave me a lecture about, he gaslighted me into thinking that BTCC was a HyperBC was a real bank, and told me I didn't know what I was talking about. But yeah, so that's what he's talking about. But that looks like a good wee photo there, isn't it? And it's very...
It looks like... It looks like a mugshot.
It looks like one of those old-fashioned photos where you can get married in China and this is your date for tonight. Take it or leave it. All right, let's carry on. Sorry for interrupting, guys. We're just trying to stretch this video out for 2 hours because we get paid by the hour.
Common to have at least 800-900 people. Looking back on it, it felt very much like you were becoming part of almost a church.
Cold.
There was a lot of positivity, a bit of euphoria. People feel they've almost built up a relationship with Sam Lee, because he was a very good orator. You know, he was very convincing to listen to.
Just like the billionaires who...
Now, I've got to stop it there because you mentioned something about this when you watched. Sam Lee was never in those videos that he's talking about.
I was a little bit confused here because I'm wondering if you and I came into this just after Sam Lee may have been the front person, because he's saying that Sam Lee was basically leading those Zooms, but we never saw that, did we?
The only thing we saw about Sam Lee was when they used to do the PowerPoint presentation and they had Ryan Jew, and then they had some sort of slide that represented Sam Lee, how he was connected somehow. And I forgot what that was all about now, even though I watched it. But they used to have a slide of Ryan Jew and how he was the owner of 300 different enterprises. And then the next slide was about Sam Lee, how he was featured on Bloomberg Prime Television, because the Prime Television video got taken down. But that was where that gave them a lot of credibility, because everyone said, how can you call it a scam when Primetime TV has done this documentary on Ryan Jew, and it was the other guy too, Alan Glow, Alan something. There was three of them. Who?
Alan Gow.
Yep.
Gow, G-A-O. And just to add to what you're saying there, that's the whole thing, that people believe what they want to believe. They would believe what you were saying because, well, it can't be a scam because this person who's advocating it is on this big documentary or this TV show or whatever. But they'll watch this and they won't flip it around the other way and go, oh, well, because this is a documentary and it's negative to Sam, that proves that he must be a scammer. They won't make that connection because it doesn't suit what they wanted to believe anyway. And I'm not saying that Sam is a bad man.
Now, interesting enough, yeah, that's good. I am. The other 5 people, we've got Gobi, we've got May Summervu, who is literally promoting another opportunity at the moment, which I just did a video on a couple of days ago. And then you've got Sam Lee and obviously Shavez Anwar. But I still don't know the top left guy. Doesn't ring any bells to me. I've forgotten who that is. But they're all notorious promoters of Sam Lee's products. Let's put it nicely, instead of calling them all scammers, because Rob doesn't like it when I call people scammers. Okay, Rob.
Yeah, like I know who 4 of those people are, but yeah, that one on the top left.
Yeah, next to me. All right. So that was yeah, and this is when he was engaged a lot with what we call the crypto whalers. What were they called? Anzac whalers. And this is when he was actually engaging a lot with Australians. And remember, Sam's a Melbourneite, so he's from Australia. Originally, he's born in Australia. He's got Chinese parents, but he's born in Australia. And at this time, he was living in Dubai after fleeing from Australia when mysteriously $58 million from his exchange had gone missing. And people were trying to recover and find where those funds went. And we thought he left for that.
Invested in Microsoft once and get dividended out forever, right? They earned it. They picked the right horse. Now, I believe you have also picked the right horse.
In January 2022, I spoke to my wife and I said, look, why don't we actually find a way of getting rid of our mortgage completely?
What a great idea. Why doesn't everybody think of that?
Honey, I've got a great idea.
Why don't we get rid of our mortgage? Oh, honey, you're so brilliant.
Financially independent, honey.
Yeah, now if you want to ever come on our podcast or our YouTube video and be interviewed, mate, you're more than welcome. We're just taking the piss out of you. But seriously, that's a fantastic idea.
I'll tell you what,
We won't go in small. We'll just go in and just smack it. Because you got to be confident.
Yeah, think of David and Goliath. I'm talking like you now. Think of David and Goliath. The bigger we put in, the harder we can knock it out.
And I'll tell you what, you don't want to read anything on the internet because it's just all negative nonsense.
That Danny guy, he's just going after YouTube clicks. And this would be an ideal time to ask you guys to subscribe if I find the right button. Let's see if we can find the right button. Find the right button. I don't know where it is. There it is.
He just caused controversy so he can make more money.
Here it is. Click.
And he's always asking you to subscribe to his channel.
I pay them for it though. I let Sadie clean the window screen. She'll come up now. Here she is. Isn't she gorgeous? Cleaning our window screen. Get back under the desk, Sadie. Thank you. It's a good girl. All right, let's carry on and listen about how you can pay your mortgage off with a Ponzi scheme.
Completely. I decided that we'd put half our equity into the whole project.
Boom.
We've generated outstanding returns
10 times or even 100 times over.
I suppose for me, the time when it seemed to go really badly wrong was about 2 weeks after we put in this very large deposit. I got a tip-off from two fairly senior community leaders.
Who are these people? Oh, sorry.
Stephen Reese Lewis on the left there, doesn't
it? Well, it's got the hairdo. Who's the... Yeah, I never thought of the hairdo. That could give it away. He's a news presenter now in Thailand, living the dream. Can't come back to the UK. And he said sorry to everybody because he thought it was just part of his acting career. Even though they paid him $3,000 and a cheap suit and a new pair of shoes, he thought it was just part of an acting career.
In the news today, Hyperfund is down 2.5%.
Yeah. And it's like, oh no, that was the score. That was the score of the last soccer game. I got it wrong. But sorry. Sorry about that. I didn't realise this is real world stuff. I thought I was living on Mars with Elon.
Then said, look, Rupert, really sorry, but it's become apparent.
He's got bad acne.
That virtually all withdrawals within the community are going to stop. The operation was started to become borderline insolvent. I just couldn't possibly accept it. That possibly something as bad as that was about to happen. My wife, understandably, was very upset with me.
Cat didn't give a shit. As long as I have food every day, I'm all good to go.
They employed a fake CEO.
Really?
No way.
So I've never done that before.
We would never have guessed that one, would we, Danny? We were fooled for what? How long?
Yeah, well, it was the blue screen, the green screen background. We used to study the backgrounds, I used to study to find out where he was. And we even found the images they were using behind and where they purchased them from every time. It was incredible. And that was when we had Vinny from Project Frugal, and he was doing like a documentary style video. He did 10 of them in a row. He really should see a doctor because he started researching this pretty heavily. He would tell me stuff. He would even found videos of Sam Lee on the phone telling people he doesn't have a brass razoo to his name and couldn't afford to buy something until payday videos. And he was deep diving where Sam used to live in Melbourne and the company records, everything. It was absolutely incredible. And he deserves to be knighted by not the Queen, but the King. Just saying. Project Frugal. And then Rob came along and then we just carried on.
Turns out he's an actor.
Oh!
Lastly, we are aware
that there will be Devonshire tea on Wednesdays.
He had Bill Gates fooled.
Yes. We are aware a small number of members, that's translated all members, except the leaders like Kalpesh Patel and Gobi and Tammy Jackson and all these other people.
That a small number of members are still experiencing trouble with some of the withdrawals and accounts being frozen.
And he thought this was his acting career.
99% is a small number.
Yeah. And he said, and I have to go out and bring the rubbish bin in for the next week because the neighbours will steal my bins.
Now, we're going to give you a script, and it may sound a little bit silly, but we're going to dress you up in a lovely suit with a lovely tie, get your hair done,
Yes.
and a little bit of powder on, and we want you to read this out as if you're a man of authority.
Yes. And I'll tell them that some cases we've found some accounts have 500 times reproduced themselves and they have multiple accounts. That's what it was like, and some people have had 50 accounts, some people 100. And in one case, we found 500 cases of multiple accounts.
And you just can't have any more than your fair share.
Yes, and this is an unfair advantage to the people in Ethiopia. All right, here we go.
These are getting resolved.
It was reassuring at the time because people didn't know he was a fake.
What the fuck? Oh, sorry. How could you? I'm on the videos going, he's a bloody actor. He's just, we don't know where he lives. There's no digital footprint. He doesn't have Facebook. He didn't have LinkedIn. And he wasn't a brother from another lover. Oh, that's that part where he said we didn't know he was fake. I'm going, what planet are we on, Charlie? Remember that, what's the English program? Terry. Remember Terry and the professionals? And Minder used to turn up and go, hey, Terry, that guy's a fake. What's up, Terry?
I don't think so, Arthur.
That's it. I don't think so, Arthur.
It took me probably a good 48 hours, 2-3 days before I could even accept the extent of actually what happened and the devastation. Of course, you feel perhaps you've let other people down. I think my wife has just about forgiven me, I'm pleased to say.
Oh, my. No. There's a reason why you're sleeping in that.
And is that your first or the second wife? They'll be into the next Ponzi scheme. Oh, I'm shocking. Sorry. Carry on. Whew. I used to think people were desperately greedy who got involved in these Ponzi schemes, and I must admit, I'm now more empathetic to people. Not much.
Yeah, for being empathetic.
Oh, sorry.
Danny, you got to take this seriously. Yeah, like it's a lot of money that people have lost, and of course they did all their due diligence and they, made a calculated decision.
Sorry, yeah.
We've since moved into a detached house. It's a shared ownership. I'm effectively the lodger. Yes, so this picture here was actually...
I do like his dog. I want Pixel to meet him. A cute little doggy.
Shared ownership. Like, what does that mean? Do they own half a house with another couple or something?
Yeah, I think it would do, actually. I mean, maybe it's a rent to own. Could be. I mean, you do feel for people, though, eh?
Yeah, you do, because there are, well, if only because there's so many people that even though it doesn't look legit to us, that it obviously looks legit to
Sorry, I'm sure. Yeah.
Painted our last house.
Oh my God, I can hold that down and fast forward that. Oh my goodness. So I just realized I can actually...
The lodger?
I can click the screen to... I don't have to... Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, yeah, so...
Yes, so this picture here was actually painting of our last house. We lived there for nearly 28 years. Lots of very happy memories. So you have to laugh, otherwise you'd cry. Yeah.
We laugh.
I contacted a major UK agency which is based around fraud, and my calls were never actually returned. I feel he's a bit like a Teflon man.
You invest once, benefit forever.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure for him to be dealt with appropriately.
Well, we do have that in common. Like an Interpol red notice would be nice.
keep calm and buy Bitcoin in the back there.
Yeah. I found all these photos. I don't think there's any images I haven't seen in this that I haven't watched 10 times. Do you know whose neighborhood that is?
Let me think. They got 100 people searching that on Google Earth as we speak.
Which one is?
I think it's the one with the grey roof.
Yeah, it'll be right. There's the park. I do walk around those streets. This part, I was going like, oh, they really use that? It was a suggestion I had because they wanted me doing something around home. And it was a hot day and we went to take Pixel for a walk and Pixel was going, I'm too hot. So we finished up walking him home and then I said, I can go around the streets in a scooter. So here I go. I could talk about Sam Lee for 20 weeks. Gotta love that photo, don't you? Hey?
Look at that, mate. He's a warrior. He's just like the Roman gladiators.
Yeah, and they're in the Falcon. They're literally in a Falcon with the door open and the camera driving down the back. And he said, don't go more faster than 15 Ks. No, they had a full-on camera in the back. Like it was like I was doing a Fast and Furious filming. It was a big moment. And there was smoke coming off the tires. I could talk about Sam Lee for 20 weeks. We'll try not to do that.
I see a lot of people that are drawn into these schemes. They show nice cars, nice houses, nice holidays, happy people. But I don't see happy people in these Zoom meetings.
Hey, look at that. It said I'm a YouTube personality. There you go. That's the PodTrack P8, my Garmin watch. I'm not sponsored by Garmin here, but it's a nice one. Test, 1, 2, 3. Hello, welcome. Test. Hello, I'm Danny DeHeck, and I'm your saviour from HyperVerse, formerly known as HyperFund. I've been fighting these scams for nearly 3 years. I've got about 1,700 videos on my YouTube channel. These companies are built on nothing. They're built on memberships. That was my very first video that they just played there. I didn't realise that. It was when I tried to do my very first breakdown on what HyperVerse was. Please do not. And that's Spencer Cornelius. He was the guy that gave CoffeeZilla a hard time recently, and I've actually unsubscribed from his YouTube channel. But he used to give me tips on how I should do my videos and write my descriptions and do my thumbnails. He was very kind. And since then, I don't think I've followed anything he's advised me. Like, he said my thumbnails are too busy. And I went, okay. And I should only have no more than 3 words on the window, like, he took money, instead of having Sam Lee is a scammer and he needs to be beep in the head. But yeah. But anyway, that was the first video I ever watched about Ponzi schemes was actually Cash FX. What was your one, Rob?
The first video that I ever did?
No, that you actually watched, that made you watch. Can you remember that?
Well, yeah. Well, they were only HyperVerse.
Oh, right. Because the first one, this guy here was doing a video on Cash FX, and that was just a simple put this much money in. Because I was working in a shared office space at the time when I did my first video, and the guy that ran the place, which you'll know, he said to me, we're all putting in $200 each, and we're going to put $1,000 in, and within 2 or 3 months, we should all triple our money. However, if you do leave your money in for a year, we'd get $20,000 each. And he said, but we're going to pull it out just before it matures. Well, not just before, but 2 or 3 months. And we're cleverer than the Ponzi scheme, they thought, but they knew it was a Ponzi scheme. But even at that point, I never actually stopped and questioned the fact to say to them, where do you think the money's coming from that you're earning? Because I didn't actually think of that at the time. Because a lot of people go, oh, well, it works because I got my money out. But now I say, well, whose money are you getting out? And where does that money come from?
Yeah, it's a closed system. So if you're making, someone's losing.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. But anyway, I just want to shove that in. Invest any of your hard-earned dollars and do your own due diligence. I'm trying to talk to these people that don't want to believe in me. They just want to carry on that path.
and they'll lose all their money. They literally just want to believe in something. I mean, you think about what I used to believe. I was born into the Jehovah's Witness organisation. I used to listen to the elders and the ministerial servants preach and tell people that we were going to live in a paradise earth, and I used to truly believe what they told us from the stage. I got kicked out of the religion when I was 23 years of age, and I had to start over. So I had nothing. So now I see a shocking parallel with the people in these Zoom meetings gaslighting people and telling them that they're going to get wealthy if they listen to their investment advice.
Would you say, Rob?
Handsome young man you were.
Oh, thank you very much. Whatever does it for you, Rob.
Well, back then, it's just a little bit sad what's happened to you, but
32 years ago, mate. That's how long ago it was. And that religion still bites me on the bum every single day. We went to a meeting this morning, met another young fella, lovely young fella, 19 years of age. And I said, he asked me my why. And I said, I used to be in a religious cult, shocking parallel. And he goes, oh, so did I. I said, which one? And he goes, Jehovah's Witness. I said, oh my God. And then I knew a person that looked after him when he was growing up was one of my best mates. And we all of a sudden had all these names of people in common. I spent an hour and a half, 2 hours getting to know him because I knew what he'd be going through at the age of 19 after, even though it was 4 years ago. It was amazing. But that was today. I bump into these people who are still connected to this horrible religion, you know? So it was interesting. Anyway, Sam Lee, you are a personal project of Danny DeHecht.
Sam Lee, brother from another lover. If not. Would you guys like to have breakfast with Scam Lee? He's gone from one scheme to another.
Do not be hooked into the message of Sam. Sam is Scam Lee.
These guys were like,
hey, Robbie, what are you doing in there? Look at that.
That's my little cameo on Bloomberg. Woo!
That is your claim to fame. You can now say, as seen on Bloomberg on your website.
Yeah, right. That head is famous.
Yeah, it is. And you actually have the thinker. You're doing the thinker. Because I've nicknamed Rob as the critical crypto thinker. Was that right?
That's close enough.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll make it last. We'll let that seep into people's brain that Rob was on the video with Danny.
just the most amazing people. And they claim they have 250,000 active users and have 1 million accounts. But it's like buying monopoly money.
Around the time that Blockchain Global collapsed, Sam Lee left Australia.
A lot of people took the money and ran. Sam Lee disappeared.
Blockchain Global has $50 million Australian missing. 58 million now.
We didn't know where he was. We was trying to figure it out.
Over the past decade or so, experts say there's one place where crypto scamming has been very prolific, and it happens to be the same place that Sam Lee...
Hold up, Rob. Something that we haven't done yet. Welcome, Susie. Susie's one of our Avengers. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Good evening, Admiral and Colonel. That's my nickname. I'm the Admiral, and Rob is the Colonel. Welcome, Susie. Nice to see you here. Special mention in the middle of the Bloomberg premiere. Okay, should we carry on now?
All the way from the 51st state of the United States of America.
I don't know if you can confirm or deny that. But she'll give us love hearts if she agrees with that. She always gives us love hearts. Give us some love hearts, Suze. Okay, let's carry on. Don't tell people where she lives. Just because you live in Hornby. Oops. Oh, hello. Where's she gone? Come back here. There we go.
Lee moved to when he left Australia.
Yep, he's live. You heard it here first. Sam Lee is back. 8 months after he left Australia, he popped up in Dubai with a new scheme called Hyper One. And I thought it was a joke.
Welcome to...
What did you think about when you heard of Hyper One, though? Because you were into it then, weren't you?
No, I don't think I was. I think no, because Hyper One was after. When was that actually? That was what, after Hyper Nation?
Well, HyperVerse and all that, and we had I was still doing all the Keith Williams stuff, and you were going for long walks when you were listening to my Keith Williams stuff.
Because
what we used to do is we used to wait for Saturday morning training, and they'd put the video onto the back end they started putting a username and password access only to the videos. So then I had this guy who'd made $200,000 from promoting HyperVerse to his church people, and they were using the church recording equipment to record the Zoom meetings that I was getting access to. And then they started putting copyright all over the videos. They literally, it was really hard for me to get the videos, but once I got them, I would do a voiceover on them.
They had a surround on the recordings of the Zoom meetings. Is that right? Like they had a frame around them or something.
Well, they had words all over the screen at one point. So then I was worried that I was going to get a copyright strike if I used their content. But now I know you can use a lot of these videos under fair use. So it was really crazy, really, at the time. But I kept getting access to these videos, and it got to the point where there was a guy that was running a Facebook page, and he used to, some reason, broadcast the meetings using his camera, filming his screen. And one day he decided I don't know what he was doing. I don't want to know. Don't tell me, but he decided to walk past the screen where he was recording, and we could see his bits. He did a streak, and it was like, oh my God, I don't want that in the video. And the sound was really bad, but every time they tried to stop me, I kept getting access to these videos. And eventually they made a system where I couldn't get them unless I logged in, but then people started emailing me the passwords and usernames so I could get into the back end. But I had to play the video, record the video screen, and then wait 2.5 hours and then get the video. And it used to take me like 10 hours to get a video ready, and then I had to wait for it to render and upload. It was just a nightmare, but we did it. It really pissed them off, but I think that's how I got my recognition, really. Oh, I remember those days. Oh, Susie's been with us for ages. Susie said she was chatting to me for like ages before I even knew Susie was Susie. And she has an alias, which I must look that up one day and figure out where she come from. And the sound was bad. It was shocking, but it was pissing them off, and that's why I kept doing it. I think one of my best videos ever was actually Des Amy, because we mortified him. Those were the days. But anyway, let's carry on.
The Silicon Oasis, UAE. Ground zero of one of my many operations.
Lee's been prolific since settling in Dubai. He's worked on VidiLook, Satoshi Square Table, StableDAO, and We Are All Satoshi. These are far from solo projects. There are entire teams behind them.
Dubai does seem to be a place where people seem to flee, especially related with crypto.
The UAE was put on a grey list a few years ago of countries not doing enough to tackle illicit finance. It was taken off that list earlier last year. The country has made public efforts to clean up its finance sector. The issue is how effective these measures have been, and is enough being done in Dubai and internationally.
It is getting to the stage where we need help. A lot of people are sort of getting away with it.
Unlike most...
They're sort of getting away with it. It's sort of an understatement, that, isn't it?
Most people facing prosecution, Samly's always been very willing to speak to me. And that's why we set up a sit-down interview.
So originally the idea was to come here in Dubai and interview Sam Lee to talk about HyperVerse. And he said that he would meet us. So right now, when I'm messaging Sam on WhatsApp, it shows up as if he's not received my messages.
JB Coders in the house. Nice piece of Bloomberg, Danny. I know, I'm really proud of it. Actually, this is probably my biggest moment in media. And hopefully it's only going to get better. Netflix, if you're watching, you know my number. 666. Oh, that's Sam Lee's number. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, nice. Anyway, yeah, so it's quite good. And I think I haven't looked at the stats, but I think we're up to nearly 500,000 people have seen this so far. And there's some really nice comments and some really unusual comments. And I think we've got a few fans, yeah, which is quite interesting. Last video on Sam's YouTube was March the 1st. Wonder where he's gone. See, this is why Susie is so valuable, because she monitors stuff that we didn't think people wanted to monitor. She will watch a dog stare at his bone until he eats it for 4 weeks. And then when he raises an eyebrow, Susie goes, he's raised an eyebrow. And we go, how do you monitor that sort of stuff?
She's onto it, mate.
I reckon. She's like a dog with a bone. If she sees something that's not right. And that's what we're doing with the Avengers, really do. We are passionate. We get called all sorts of names. Like we're lovely, we're nice people, we're UA sensitive guys, all this sort of stuff. And it's just unbelievable what people call us. Anyway.
True.
Yeah. All right, let's carry on. Sorry, Rob. You'll be all night. We're going again.
So he's kind of gone off the radar. This is the place that Sam Lee in one of his videos shows as his office center.
Now, there's 450 people that were working in that building, and we had Blake. What was that? Are you talking to that daughter of yours? Yeah, that's right. Shame, I don't know what we might be able to fix this lag thing. It only lags for about half a second before the sound starts coming through. It's really fun. So if you could go Peter Pickle, Peter Pooh before you spoke, it would probably. Pickle Pooh. Yeah, got the Pickle Pooh bit. The rest of it was just, but I now know what I'm dealing with. Well, I don't have any idea. But this building here, 450 people working in there, and Gareth Blackley, who was thrown under the bus as the owner of VidiLook, worked with Sam in that building. And he was also Sam Lee's flatmate. And he said that they were working on multiple projects. And he also said they were working on the software for We Global. And when they merged HyperVerse with Diversal, and we were watching Diversal running their board meetings, they had the same friggin' wallpaper in the background as it is for VidiLook. And then we sort of thought, hold it a minute, Diversal's working out of the same building because it looks so weird, the wallpaper, unless everyone had the same wallpaper in Dubai. So if they were running multiple scams, or they were producing the websites, and then we had a closer look at, I had a closer look at We Global's website and HyperVerse's website, and then HyperNation's website, and then Diversal's website, and we could find similar code in the back end. And I think you mortified Boomerang's website, Rob. I think you spent more time on Boomerang's website than God himself. Yeah. So that was good.
I ripped it apart with ChatGPT.
Oh, that's brilliant. And also what Rob's talking about is he would put all the code of the website into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT would say, it's too long. So then you'd have to do it in segments, like a quarter.
Not compute.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, and at the time we found that we asked it to put code into graphs so we could understand it. And with this website, we could prove that if somebody traded between, say, $20 and $43, that there would be a percentage of like 1.3 added on for the calculation. And then, so we could, this fake arbitrage trading they were saying to people they were doing, we could actually predict the exact amount that people would get after they did this trading. And then we got even deeper into that. We found the wallets where they were storing money and topping it up as people were getting paid in cents every time they did a trade. So we basically turned, it's like that wee thing you get where Chinese people do the finger thingy, and then we just turned it all inside out and ripped the paper apart. It was just destroyed it.
Boom.
Yep. All right, let's go. Don't go. Okay, I have to go to this screen. Nearly there.
We looked all over the city for him. We went to his personal and business addresses, but there was no sign of him.
Just kind of been waiting.
What is the name?
L-E-E. L-E-E. Okay, no.
How do you spell
So
Lee?
it looks like Sam Lee doesn't live here, and it doesn't look like he's staying at the apartment that U.S. authorities had an address for.
I knew he had an extensive network of people who were working with him on a lot of these ventures, most of which seemed problematic. So we've been able to find a number of people close to Sam Lee, people who've helped him set up his websites, people who've helped him find liquidity.
Did you know that first guy?
No, I'd never seen. Well, I haven't seen either of these except for Chavez, obviously.
Yeah, no, I've never seen him before. I was hoping they're going to bring that guy that was in VidiLook in. Remember him? They had something over him. So.
Yeah, what was his name?
Vic, something Vic. Susie will know. She will have it written and tattooed on her arm by the morning. Yeah, but I don't remember this guy. I've never seen this guy before. So I thought it was pretty good that they managed to. It might easily be just a fake actor. Who knows? But it's not Sam Lee. Do you think that was Chavez's brother?
Yeah. People who've helped him set up his websites, people who've helped him find
Who's that guy? So that guy theoretically came with, the support people from Polygon. Could be. Liquidity providers. So this is an interesting thing. If Sam Lee needed liquidity providers, then where did all the money go that Rory Archer was claiming he could get? Because obviously they had no money. And they meant to be a $1.9 billion scam, which I still believe is $4 billion. No one's got any money here. They're still canoodling. Sam's fourth concubine, what do they call those? Fiance? Not concubine. What are they called? Oh, mistress. She said that Sam claimed that he got $2.8 million from his involvement with HyperVerse. So that's sort of an unusual figure to come out of the woodwork with. So I think he spends it all on alcohol since then and cocaine. Yeah, Khan. Khan is Sam's scam buddy. Khan is. See, I told you Susie would have a name. But Khan, they should have interviewed Khan, but he's meant to be his scam buddy.
liquidity in the industry and people who are close.
There he is, the man of the moment. Chavez with his shirt button. He's lost his buttons on his shirt. Like he's. Look, even I would do better with my shirt undone than he would. I mean, he's just a skinny little runt. Sorry. Yeah, but he's
is in small ponds.
Notice how they spelled liquidity?
Yeah, they spelled it properly. They should have taken one eyes out.
Yeah, he couldn't get that domain name. Or Khan, look at you, Susie. She's Khan. This guy here is meant to be the guy that does all the software for Sam Lee. Just going across the screen there. Oh God, this won't quite work the way I want. Nothing does.
Business partners of his.
Sam, honestly, he's been kind of also like a mentor.
Mentor.
And others. So they're all hardcore originators of this decentralized technology.
I cannot say, personally at least, that I've spoken or I know someone that has as much knowledge and experience.
The guy must be a stick of shit. He obviously hasn't watched my videos.
Why everybody is in crypto.
Shavez Anwar is a particularly...
I hate that photo, that image. That is, when I think of this video, I think of him sitting there like a Chiso cat with a shirt open with a microphone. Somebody would have had to wire him.
He's mic'd up in the car. That's a classic.
Yeah, well,
so
he must have been...
He followed him around,
well,
obviously.
When they come and film me, they do this thing where they want you to go about your day. And that's why I was on we come up with the scooter idea. So I assume that he's actually with a film crew here, not with Alice in the back of the car. Just saying.
Yeah, and it's quite bizarre what comes out in a few minutes' time about Chavez.
It's unreal.
Paid for this.
Yeah, here we go.
Fascinating character. He's picked up.
I think that fascinating word was very polite, Alison, just saying, in case you're watching this.
One of Sam Lee's ventures, We Are All Satoshi. And it just so happens that it also received a cease-and-desist order from Californian authorities for being a Ponzi and pyramid scheme.
You know, he's like the new Sam Lee.
I'm selling 9pay cards, I'm selling Dodo subscriptions, I'm selling Bitcoin code miners.
Three things. So 9pay, if you're just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, has now been renamed to LquidPay with no I at the start of the LquidPay. And that's because they found out what they'll tell you in a few minutes. And Dodo Pay, well, it's not what you're thinking. It's D0D0.app, APP. And that has failed as well. They launched it when crypto was going off after Donald Trump came in, and it looked like it was a great way to make money. And now every time you go there, everything's in the red instead of the green, so you're not going to get any great trading advice there. And what was the last one he had? The credit card?
Yeah, Bitcoin code.
Oh, Bitcoin code. And there's some stuff that Rob's going to address when they talk about Bitcoin code.
I have brought the narrative of affiliate marketing 3.0.
He promotes affiliate marketing, which is the same thing as multi-level marketing. And that's where people make money by selling products and getting commissions from signing up new people. Pyramid and Ponzi schemes are illegal in most countries, including in the US and in the UAE. Multi-level marketing schemes are legal, and the line between the two is often hard to discern. The allegations that the California financial authorities were making about the original WAAS project was that it's a Ponzi structure, it's a pyramid structure, and those are pretty strong words, right?
Yes. It was misunderstanding.
Come on. It's a misunderstanding. A government department.
How many people put their money into We Are All Satoshi and made the profits that they were told they were going to make?
Well, it was a misunderstanding, Rob. Because in the terms and conditions, it says that results aren't guaranteed, and you can't judge them by previous performance from another scam. So, yeah.
I can remember being on holiday in the North Island of New Zealand over a year ago. It'd be
In the rain?
No, it was very hot.
Oh, yeah.
13, 14 months ago, where they were going to float Bitcoin code.
Oh, right. Which has never happened.
Bitcoin 2.0, as he's going to allude to. This is 14 months ago. They were going to float it. It's gone nowhere.
And this next thing he talks about, the really important fact is no one knows that the money is safe, and no one knows how to get their money out of it. But you can buy products at a discount. But to buy the product, you need to top it up with real USDT. And the only way to get your money out is by finding a half-witted human who wants to go into something and ignored all the warnings. And as he's coming into it, you've got to intercept him and ask him to buy your tokens for what you think they're worth. And it's called peer-to-peer transactions. And that's what they're theoretically also going to produce, is a peer-to-peer app where you can switch it out for one idiot thing to the other one.
You can only get your money out if someone puts their money in. And those products that you were talking about are actually other crypto projects.
Yeah, that he's running. Yeah. So it's like a game of Monopoly, and somebody's decided to sell the motels. And if you're playing the game, you can trade them with another hotelier, or the railway stations, or the utilities, but you cannot get your money back to real world fiat currency. So it's just a game. And
that's a really good analogy. It's like you did play a game of Monopoly, and you paid over your real money, and they gave you Monopoly money, which is fine because you can continue to play the game. But months, 6 months, a year, or whatever, when you want to swap that Monopoly money back out and get proper money, yes, unless you can find another person to play the game instead of you, you're stuck.
Or another analogy, which I use is like a casino. You walk into the casino, all the glitzy lights, looks beautiful. You exchange your real money into the chips, and then when you get in, they shut the casino doors, and then all the tellers that you saw when you're on the way and have all gone away. and everyone that you're playing games with are deliriously happy, keep telling you that the tellers will come back one day, and then they criticize you because you want to leave.
Yeah, stuck with the chips.
Yeah. Okay, go Anwar.
It was a good model. I mean, if people ethically do affiliate marketing, it's a good industry. It's the way to sell products peer-to-peer.
The thing with Shavez is he says a lot of things that don't necessarily add up.
Just before she says that, say it again, mate, Rob. Yeah, he said bullshit. I think he said bullshit. Didn't come through the mic. Susie just said, are you ready for the unveiling of Boomerang 2.2 today? And we've had that discussion. You must have come a little bit late, and that's okay. But no, we're not. We are protesting. We are not. I'm not staying up. I'm not going to even try and find the meeting. I've lost total interest in Shavez because it will be delayed or it won't work. And what's that lady who used to always be there? Lucky? Will she be sitting there going, oh, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. We're so lucky. Now, come on, people, give them your money.
We are so lucky to have Shavez.
Yeah.
We just need to have faith in Shavez and show the right sentiment, and he will pull us through.
Can I get off my knees now? Oh, yes, really. JB Coder's going, really? Yep. Boomerang 2. Let's rinse and repeat and do it again. Yep. Because there was nothing wrong with Boomerang. It was perfectly fine. However, Shavez just had to shut it down and reopen it up again and refund everyone in Monopoly money.
Show us another one just like the other one.
Stay alive.
For example, the Bitcoin company he's launched, he said, is backed by Visa. But I talked to Visa and they said they'd never heard of him.
God.
Boom.
Really?
Yeah, that there is the most compelling thing probably in this video, apart from the next thing that's going to be said. And people will just ignore it. Guy, like, they've said it's related to Visa. They went to Visa. Visa
Maybe
said, no.
maybe Alison was, is it Alice or Alison? Alice. Maybe Alice was talking to the wrong Visa company.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, she was probably talking to Visa, but where Chavez was, it's Visa.
Oh, right. Because this is the other way to think, is we could turn this around and pretend that we're an investor who wants this, I'm going to get 3 times my return on investment in 600 days sort of attitude. And we don't want this to be wrong because we live in hope and you've got to have faith and you've got to be positive. And here's a reporter from Bloomberg who decided to pick up the phone and go, hi, I'm from Bloomberg. You may have heard us. And we're just wondering, have you ever heard of Shavez Anwar and his credit card 9Pay? And then mysteriously after they go no, then all of a sudden Shavez decides to rebrand the company to another name within 2 weeks. That's kind of funny.
And then he also says he works with regulatory authorities in Dubai quite often.
Oh, shit.
But they told me they'd never heard of him either. But if you look around Dubai, there are a number of signs of other alleged scams just spread all around the city. One of Dubai's metro stations is sponsored by OnPassive.
Yeah, I love this because we've got a lady called Queen of Karma, and she has dedicated her life to the scam OnPassive, which is still going. And I had dedicated my life at the time to HyperVerse. I nearly said Jehovah, but so when I saw this particular OnPassive moment, I thought, oh, I hope she's watching. So it was so cool. And Susie might have her website, her YouTube channel to stick in there as well, just so people can subscribe. And the same with Rob. We do have a shortcut key, which I'll try to find, and we'll put your YouTube channel in there, Rob, because you have some pretty good videos coming out, don't you, dear Robbie?
Oh, not really.
Well, they'll turn into good videos after my influence, because I'm an influencer.
Mate. Who the man? You the man.
Who the man?
A company US authorities have declared a pyramid scheme. The question is why Dubai has become such a magnet for these dubious businesses. Throughout its history, the city has sought to become the center of global trade. This started with the oil boom and it's evolved into finance and now tech. In order to attract the best talent, it created a tax and regulatory environment that makes it easy to do business here. The problem is, while attracting legitimate businesses, this has also made it a haven for various tech pyramid and Ponzi schemes, according to US authorities. And despite recent progress in combating illicit finance,
it's a bit blurry.
Dubai continues to grapple with an influx of bad actors, particularly in the crypto space.
London?
A month after I returned, news of Sam Lee's whereabouts finally emerged.
Sam Lee has been detained in Dubai. Once again, Sam Lee has been detained in Dubai.
News at 6. Danny read the news like a pro.
Sam told me he'd surrendered himself willingly to Dubai authorities after an Interpol red notice was issued. He'd been detained for 60 days.
Who am I? Who am I?
I give myself willingly.
I come in freely because the world was looking for me and there was nowhere to hide. So I volunteered myself.
I come in peace.
I come in peace, but keep my undies on, please.
I heard you want to talk to me.
You want to talk to me within the lights? With the lights on or off? I talk anyway because I have no choice anymore to swing the pendulum back and forth and you are getting sleepy. My name is Sam Lee.
And had just been released. After exchanging messages, we arranged a remote sit-down interview.
What got me through my 60 days of incarceration was knowing that they cannot do anything worse to me because they have already done what they... excuse me.
Oh my God. Did Sam get emotional?
Mate, well, that's funny, actually, that you thought that was emotional. I thought that was, I have just started, and there is no way that I can finish the sentence. And the funny thing is that people should be looking here. Is this someone that you think is a billionaire? Like, what would he be doing? Documentary. And just look at his answers.
Yeah. Why can they get the narrative so wrong and use such powerful and defaming words when all I've done was try to help people understand this space?
So he's in prison for 60 days and that's what he came up with. That's it.
It's because regulators, unfortunately, cannot be seen as being asleep at the wheel. They have to prove me guilty. That's very, very hard when they have very little evidence.
They obviously haven't watched my videos.
They have very little evidence. They don't have no evidence.
Yeah. It's like there is a smoking gun, but they just didn't know which gun I was using.
Yeah.
On what actually has happened.
So to some of the early investors who lost money, what would you say to them?
I'm sorry. Oh, that was Stephen Lewis. I'm sorry. Remember Jack Gamble when he found the real Stephen Lewis and then he did a mockery video and it was, I'm sorry. Okay.
Sympathetic to investors who participate in this space and lose money. But everyone who understands how to make money in this space by really listening to what I have to say, giving me time to really understand this space, have made money.
Name one person, Sam. Name one person that has
Yes.
listened to your advice and can prove and you can authenticate that one person that you may find. Let us know who they are. We'd love to interview them.
So anyone who stuck their money in anything that Sam had anything to do with, I want, and this is an open question here for you, Danny. Was there anything that they were told that they had to do to put their money in, and then they also had to listen to Sam for what? To learn something, to do something? They put their money in because they were told that the project was going to be successful. And they weren't told it was going to be successful only if you put your money in and listen to me and do what I tell you to do and do bloody blah, blah. Because there wasn't any and. It was just put your money in and I'm going to turn it into gold. As far as I know.
They did exactly. With the We Are All Satoshi saga, let's just put all the other ones like Stable Deo, Stable Opinion, that only raised $200,000 that was trying to raise 20 million before they started their first project. So they gave up on that. But then when they started up We Are All Satoshi, they were told that 30% of their money that they invested would go into a vault where no one could touch it. And it was 100% safe. The rest of the money...
Your money back from that, Danny?
Well, they got paid back in BTCC, which was...
the monopoly money that we were talking about earlier.
And not only that, they got paid back by Shavez, who created BTC network, or blockchain. And he came along to clean up after Sam. Sam was told to leave because he was doing too much cocaine and drinking. And we gave videos to BBC News in Australia. And Sam was saying, we can keep producing scam after scam, or we could produce a legitimate opportunity where people could invest in a real opportunity where people could make real money. He said, as long as he gets his 2%. So
tech guy. Who's the tech guy now? Elon Musk.
Woo! Yeah, well, let's put a spaceship up Sam Lee's backside. That's what I say. But you know, so everyone actually did what Sam Lee told them to do. And, you know, and everything is now the 500 days were up and the money was meant to be paid out to people. And there was so much, everything he said to do, people did and nothing eventuated. So that's just a total lie. And that's one of many projects. You know, let's not get started with VAV, where Sam Lee told people that if they invested $150, within 24 hours, they'd get $75 back. And within 48 hours, they'd get all the money back. And then after 7 days, they would get $700. And then the next day, he released another package where if you invested $750, you'd get $350 back, and so forth. And I met two people that put $1,500 US in each and lost a whole lot. And that was what he told them to do. You know, and that was a money grab. So there's everything. We've got videos coming out our ears where Sam's instructing people to do things. And he also explained, Sam, if you're watching this, which I know you will because you've got no one watching your own videos, is the promissory note, where you promise to give people a guarantee. And you wrote that on a bloody teacup, on a cup about, you know, these promissory notes. And it's just bullshit on boot, you know.
Yeah, a legal document. Can someone please give me a tissue paper?
That's right, it's a tissue paper.
Can someone give me a plastic coffee mug that I can tear it open and write down? And everybody at home, you can write your own promissory note down. I'll read out the words and you write them down. Remember that?
And that was him guaranteeing everyone's investment. He was loaning the money from people who were giving him this money. So I would ask Rob for $10,000. One couple we got, between them, they put in $102,000. And Sam Lee sat there and wrote out a promissory note. And Yvonne Henry, an Australian lady, was getting 20% of it just by passing them over, you know. And we've never heard back from that couple. And we got a secret video I managed to find on the internet, don't ask me how. And they just lost $100,000 to Sam. Now, those people there, I don't think they're sitting there thinking, we did exactly as Sam says, and look at us now. They're going, we got scammed again, because that was the second time that couple got scammed. Here we go.
If people are not able to take the full scope of my knowledge and apply it, then the outcome, of course, will be less than ideal.
So I kind of want to bring up the language that US regulators are using. It's pretty strong. They're talking about pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes. Are they misunderstanding crypto and also like affiliate marketing?
There's nothing wrong with multi-level marketing. There is nothing wrong with cryptocurrency.
There's lots wrong with multi-level marketing. I mean, if you've got a legitimate business, go to the bank and get a bank loan. If you, to me, multi-level marketing, Amway does it, and they always default back to Amway because that's a well-established company that uses multi-level marketing. But I don't think there's the Melanuka, maybe Tupperware, maybe. But when it comes to any of these things associated in crypto world, multi-level marketing is just for recruitment and getting commissions from people, and it's just bullshit. But anyway, that's my opinion. Make your own.
They simply feel threatened that this new form of financial value creation and exchange is competing with the US-backed currencies and their existing controls that they have on the capital markets. I love Dubai. The regulatory framework in the UAE benefits the existing platforms. There are many exciting projects on the horizon. You just have to stay tuned.
It's unclear what will happen next. Even if Lee doesn't face his charges in the US, the damage to his reputation may impede his new businesses. But this story isn't just about Lee. If Dubai continues to harbor these questionable schemes, the damage these ventures pose is likely going to increase.
Shavez Anwar, this new guy that now is like the new Sam Lee.
We are creating another Bitcoin. Bitcoin 2.0 is coming. The price was $3 at the time of launch. Now it is $67. If we do 5,000x, that is something which is good, which is like just like Bitcoin that we will do.
He couldn't even look them in the eye when he said that. He's looking away. He can't even look them and say that in the eye. Even he knows it's a joke. I mean, the body language on that is so foobarred.
Yeah, so that coin that he's talking about, Bitcoin Code, is now at $155, but it seems to be all smoke and mirrors because no one can actually sell the damn thing and get out. Unless, of course, you know, you get a new person in. To kind of, I'm actually having a look at their, I was just having a look on their website to see that 155, and I was wondering what their miners are selling for now.
And that's they're meant to have sold 300 of these miners worth $27,000 each. And when you go into their own system and see how many miners are connected to their node thingy, one. And so,
It's on their own website. You're talking about, nodes. Nodes. All the nodes for what? Yeah, it was 27,000, wasn't it? And
they're doubling the price of them if you didn't hurry out and buy one.
Yeah, and they're all getting paid out in BTCC, but it's seemingly not worth anything.
It's just like, and it's just, but the thing is, it doesn't. All these Ponzi schemes that we go after, it never really matters about the product. It's all about hooking your friend into it. And getting paid the commission. So the commissions that you get from signing people up on whatever they're selling doesn't matter. Go into your WAAS back office, and they have the bridges open every now and again, and you can get some of your money out. But the bridges have been shut for friggin' ages, like 400, 500 days or something stupid. So no one can get money out.
Yeah. So all the projects seem to be excuses to sell something to somebody, and when that person pays the money in, they get a share of it every time that money goes past them.
And they're building, and then they tell people, don't worry, you're building generational wealth, which I don't have any kids, so I don't care about my generational wealth if I was involved. But this is what they're telling people. So people go, it's a long-term investment, and you go, no, it's just a drawn out, have we really lost our money investment? You know, it's just stupid. Anyway, let's carry on.
Authorities, often powerless to act across borders, it's fallen on people like Danny to sound the alarm on suspected scams. And people like Shavez.
Now, that is friggin' amazing, because this is Shavez when it was first day on the job, so to speak. And he's literally like the apprentice. And this is when he was working and promoting Hyper One and Stable Deo. But if you saw him now, he's a rock star who's got a history of being a successful entrepreneurial guy. But he hasn't. He's been working for the cartel network, as I call it. And here's videos that I found of him, you know, introducing himself as Shavez Anwar, where he offered $10,000 to me if I could come up with his last name or figure out his last name. And here, he introduces himself as Shavez Anwar, and I thought I was going to be rich.
Shavez Anwar are very aware of Danny's efforts to disrupt their operations. One person that I wanted to bring up is Danny DeHex.
I mean, it's not good that you talk about something you don't know. I mean, he has zero knowledge of the tech. He has zero understanding of tech. If it is affecting my reputation in the market, I will sue.
I literally do have the best defamation lawyers in New Zealand helping me out. It does have a big toll on me, and some days it does hit me like a ton of bricks. But one day karma may catch up with them and I may get some grief as well. But because of my upbringing, I feel like I'm fighting a battle for other people, so it's not going to stop me doing what I do, but it is a concern.
Boom. So what's that say? UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs directed questions about crypto film to Dubai police. Oh, you've wrote to the Dubai police, haven't you, Bob?
Yep. The UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs directed questions about cryptocurrency firms to the Dubai Police and Ministry of Justice. Neither agency responded to requests for comment. What a surprise.
But you have had comments and replies now, haven't you?
Oh, I've had quite a few comments and replies. I don't think it ever goes anywhere, but yeah, there have been quite a few people in Dubai, Dubai Police, e-crimes, two of the ministers, and somebody from the big house. I'm not too sure what you call it at the top. Yeah.
Susie wants to know,
yes.
Do you think he still has that suit? Who are you talking about? Chavez's?
Yeah, if you go back to Chavez, he's got kind of like a big kind of crumply, ill-fitting suit. And it's quite, if Susie was looking at the same thing I was, comparing his suit and attire.
Oh, in the video. I see.
Yeah, right there.
I'll do it in a second. I'll just get rid of this last bit and we'll go back and look at the suit. Because there's another bit here. I know it's finishing. OPASIV did not respond to the request for comment. It has previously denied any wrongdoing. Okay. Didn't actually see that last time. And they didn't have anyone else. So they got. So the producer's James. He's the guy that interviewed me. And there you go. It's my first doco. Additional material. Rupert Hollywood and Paul Jesters. I don't know those people.
It does. That additional material. Yeah, your name's in there.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rupert Honeywood was that English guy that was at the start, the one who lost some money, and Paul Jeffers. Not too sure who Paul Jeffers is.
Maybe if he's the guy that was one of the guys trying to get liquidity, or maybe the programmer guy. But yeah. All right, we'll just see what else. I think that's it. Pretty good though. We'll go back to the suit now. We'll have a look at Chavez's suit, which was probably about there. Oh yeah, look at the lapels on it. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, compare the one that he's got there that he probably bought out of the op shop to the one that he bought. Probably
it was like he's wearing his daddy's suit first day on the Crime Watch. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Rob. Big moment for me. Obviously 10 months in the making, providing information. Quite nice to actually see it, because I was hoping that I'd be featured a little bit because of the amount of information I tried to provide them. So I was quite proud by that. And I think my Avengers also deserve a round of applause with the amount of videos we've watched, and we've stormed into Zoom meetings, and we've made these guys, we've caused disruption enough to get these guys, talking about it, which is quite exciting, really.
Yeah, and I think it's a great opportunity. Like, it is a fantastic documentary. It's one of the best ones I've seen. But that's only the first part of it. And it's up to everybody who watches this, if they genuinely want to protect people, to actually share this. Like, literally go and do what every YouTuber and influencer or social media person wants you to do. Share it. Share it on your Facebook page, on your WhatsApp, anywhere. Email it to friends. Everybody can watch it and actually understand what goes on.
Because I think you can find it on the homepage of my website, the video, if you're looking for it. We'll just search for Sam Lee on YouTube. You should find it pretty easily. Out of interest, it was 19 minutes long. We've managed to drag that out for an hour 30. We've done well.
We're very aware of Danny's efforts to disrupt their operations.
One person that I wanted to bring up is...
Sorry. So we've actually had 439 views in 8 days and over 586 comments, which is quite interesting. And I think it was featured on Bloomberg TV, so you can actually find it on your TV and watch it. And then they've released it on the YouTube. So they reckon 1 million people will view it, but it'll be interesting. But that's a pretty good solid video effort, really. But does it make a difference?
Well, I guess you've done your job. Bloomberg have done their job, but now it's up to everybody else to do their job, and that is to and get the word out there. So that, hey, I don't think we're going to stop all the scams, and I don't think we're going to stop people losing money, but we can stop or save some.
Susie just put the link in the YouTube. Interesting enough, the aftermath of that, I don't know another way of putting it, but I have more clout with people who are asking me questions now. So over the last 8 days, people have seen it. I've had quite a few people reach out to me, and one guy asked me to. He actually went to buy me a cup of coffee, paid me $200, and then asked me to give my opinion on 2 opportunities that he's just invested in. And the first opportunity I did we went through the website and had a good look at it, and all the images of all the staff were all generated with AI. And it just looked, the whole website was poorly designed. So when I got to interview this guy, he said to me that he'd invested $25,000 into this website. And I went, oh my goodness. He said, but I'm withdrawing money, he says. And I said, how much have you put in? He said, I'm not sure. So he's put 25,000 US dollars into it. And then he said, I'll show you the withdrawals. And he shows me the withdrawals. And I said, how much have you withdrawn? And he adds it all up and he goes, 13,000 so far. And I'm going, well, it won't get past 25, mate. You won't get your money back. And because he bought 200 accounts. I don't know if it was the same one, but he bought 200 accounts and funded them himself. So then that means he put another 20,000 in because $100 to create a new account. And then he gave them to all these people in the Philippines, hoping that they would get excited and share them out. So that was what's come from it, people asking these questions, and you're sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, this guy's put $25,000 in and he thinks it's real because he's getting money out, and that's how the Ponzi schemes work. And he said, well, what about the other side? I'm more interested in that. So then we had a look at that one, and it was a very poorly website. The back end of it was more bells and whistles. And he said, I've put $100,000. I said, $100,000. And he said, and it's locked for 12 months. I can't touch because I had to stake it for 12 months. And then they used my money to do arbitrage trading. And I went, oh my God. And he said, 2 of my mates have also put $100,000 in. So my $200 now look like I ain't charging this guy enough to save him. But so then I'm so lucky because I've got Susie, who's in the chat room, who knows how to read the blockchain. I'm no good at this. We've got Crypto G, and now we're on a crusade to show this guy that it's not real arbitrage trading. And so far, everything we've looked at shows no sign of any arbitrage trading. But he said, oh no, I've been speaking to them on Zoom. And I'm going, and then he said, one guy's from India and the other guy's from Germany. And I've taken a photo of the screen just in case. And I'm going, oh, okay. So that was one person who's come from it, but I am actually getting quite a few people asking me, and I don't want to be that guy that goes through an opportunity and say, yeah, I don't see any red flags here. What I want to do now is look at an opportunity and then tell people the red flags I see. And I'm never going to endorse anyone. And I've actually put it on my buy me a cup of coffee thing as a thing I'm offering. If you want to sponsor me to do a review on a website, but it's going to put me in a tricky predicament. And I don't know if I'll continue doing it because I don't ever want to be looking at something and go, I can't see any red flags. Because then people will probably invest and go, well, Danny DeHeck looked at it and couldn't find any red flags. But there's always red flags. Even putting your money in the bank, there's red flags. But I just thought when that guy told me that he's got, him and his mates have collectively put $325,000 into 2 schemes, and they've done it in the last 2 weeks. And he thinks it's a real deal because they said, and on their website, they tell you And if he leaves his money in there for, I think, for the whole year, I think he's going to get 7 times his return on his investment. So technically speaking, $100,000 will turn into $700,000. And I asked him, where do you think the money's coming from? And he goes, well, from the trading. And I go, but if we prove to you that the arbitrage trading isn't real, then where's the money coming from? And it will be recruitment. So, it's just another person there, you see. So what did Susie say here? She said, I've got a Tron scan tail on one of those that leads to Binance Hot 7. Oh, great. So that's a wallet that we have been monitoring, isn't it? So that's connected to another scam. That's what Susie's, I think, basically saying there. And that's why we're so lucky we've got like Susie and Crypto G know how to follow the money around the blockchain, because everything isn't hidden on the blockchain. Everything's quite open. We just don't know who owns it and we don't know how to get the money out of it, but we can see the money that these scammers are doing. All right, Rob, I think we've done. What have you got? Anything else to say there, Rob?
Yeah, well, it is an interesting one that, I was going to say that I haven't seen anybody who's actually done a lot of due diligence beforehand who, how can I word this, who is saying, well, I didn't think it was a scam because I did A, B, and C to work out whether or not it was legit first. It seems to be, for some reason, and I honestly don't get my head around it, they just believe. They don't check. They just believe. And they put in a lot of money. That must have taken them a long time to acquire or earn. And they then, after the fact, after it looks like everything has fallen over, then they want help. And unfortunately, usually it's too late.
It's the perfect storm. Do you remember the guy that said that the HyperVerse was the perfect storm? It was McCahey. He was the radio announcer. He worked for Cork FM in Ireland. And he said, HyperVerse is the perfect storm because they're not paying out money, they're paying out rewards. And a lot of these scams have got so blatant, I don't know, blatantly obvious, but they now forgot the word rewards and they talked about you're going to get crypto back, and they don't hide behind the reward name so much. But if I didn't know anything about crypto, which is their target audience, you rely on the recommendation of a friend or a family member. So in these Zoom meetings, I see people saying, recruit your family and your friends because they trust you. The internet's new, crypto's new. So our nephew, he knows all about crypto. He knows, he's the guy rang me up one day, and I say this quite a lot. He said, I've put $5 million into HyperVerse and I've lost a lot. And the first question that came out of my mouth is, where'd you get the money from? Because I always don't quite believe it. And he said, my family's really large. I've got 113 people in our family have all put money in collectively, and I'm the guy that holds the purse. I said, what made you think that HyperVerse was the real deal? And he goes, well, I worked on Wall Street and I've seen money and I know how money works and how you can make money from the minute money, that gets exchanged. And I said, well, how's your knowledge on Wall Street going for you now? Because he's just lost all that money, and his family wanted him to sell his house to pay back the money that lost. He was buggered. And he also, because these Ponzi schemes destroy families, they destroy relationships. They're relationship destroyers. And when I got in the New York Times a couple of years ago, I remember being reached out by an organization that was researching one scam. And they said they have found 11 people who have died by suicide who were involved in these scams and then realized they've lost a lot. And they couldn't deal with it, obviously, and they chose to die. They took their own lives. So that's kind of like, I've been on these Zoom meetings before and lost the plot on a few of these leaders, and I've told them they're murderers because they are promising something that will never eventuate, only to hope they get the percentage or the commission money from promoting this scam. They don't even care if the scam they don't even call it a scam, obviously, but they don't care whatever they're offering, whatever on the table, they don't care about. Because all they care about is getting that commission money. As long as the people believe there's something going to happen in the future, they will quickly whip out their 20% when HyperVerse, 52% of that money that people paid in to buy a membership went back to the people that were referring it. And they would get, they'd get rewarded along the way. It was just shocking, really.
Yeah, I'm just having a look here, just for curiosity's sake, because a lot of these scams or opportunities, they say that you're going to get 3x, 4x, 7x, as you were saying in that other one, or 10x, etc., etc. So I've just asked the AI here, what is the average rate of return from the start of the highest earning tech stocks? And it's just come up here. And the highest rate of return is 30, just looking at that, probably about 37% average annual rate of return for NVIDIA. Okay, so that's the highest. Second highest is Tesla at about 35. Then Netflix, surprisingly, is at 30. Amazon's at about 27. Meta, as in Facebook's about 27 as well. Apple was about 26. Microsoft's about 24. Alphabet, which is Google, is 20. Oracle's about 18. And IBM is about 12 to 13. Now, what that means is that even if you invested from the start in the biggest tech companies, the ones that I've just read out, you wouldn't be looking at 3x, you wouldn't be looking at 4x, you wouldn't be looking at 7 or 10x. You'd be looking at 0.35x per year. So if you invested $100,000, you would have made $35,000, and you'd have $135,000 at the end of that year, and so on. This should ring alarm bells in people's heads, so that when someone's saying you're going to get 300% interest, or 3x, or 400%, or 700%, or whatever per annum, it's so stupid that alone, if there was nothing else, should tell you this is not real. This is not real. When in NVIDIA, which last time I looked was the biggest company in the world, annualized return somewhere around about 37% per year.
Crazy. Because that VAV thing that Sam did, he was claiming that you would get 7 times your return in 1 week, and you'd get your principal back in 2 days. And
well, remember that was Boomerang, wasn't it? Where I worked out if what they were saying or implying was true, you'd become a nonillionaire. You become, everybody who invested any money, even in the most basic license, would have become a nonillionaire inside the first year. You would all have become the richest people that the planet has ever produced. All of you, not just one, all of you. There's not enough in the world.
The funny thing about that, you were actually quite cautious in your maths, because you actually worked it out on every week compounding, and they were working it out on every day. So they had 7. They were going to make people 7 times richer than a gazillionaire.
Yeah, just absolutely unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh well, that was my Bloomberg stuff. Thank you to the people that listened to me and took me seriously. We tried to make it more comical, but it is me who listens to people's emails and listens to phone calls and WhatsApp messages, and people are always asking me for my opinion about a scam. If I had look at my WhatsApp now, even while I'm doing this video, I would have got a couple of 3 messages from people I don't know asking me to look at something. Or I've got one at the moment, which is a romance scam, and the guy's been stringing along a lady, a nice looking lady, of course. He's 29 years of age and she's 36, 32, 34. But she wants to befriend him, and she's been chit-chatting to him, and she wants him to invest money, and now she's starting to put a bit of pressure on. But the funny thing, he's been chatting to her for quite a few weeks, well, maybe a few months, and she's built a relationship up with him. And I said, "Oh, she thinks you're you're a pig." She goes, "What?" I said, "It's pig butchering. They fatten up the pig, stroke his ego, form a relationship with him over a 4-month period normally, and then they will then tell you, 'Have you ever wondered how I maintain my lifestyle?' And then she'll say, 'Well, I'm about to reinvest the money in a really good, sound investment, and we can go halves if you like, and we'll introduce you to this world of investment opportunities.'" And then I had another guy, Crane was his last name, and he'd lost $36,600. Collectively, they were to save up $60,000 together and live happily ever after. And then when they got to 60, she put 30 in, he put 30 in, he sold his car, borrowed money from his mum, sold things around the house, managed to get $30,000 together and put it in. And then she said, "Oh, the opportunity that we had to invest in expired. But there's another opportunity just around the corner. It's now $65,000. Do you think you can find another $2,500? And then he started thinking, I think this is a scam. And that's when he contacted me. And then we looked through the whole process and saw how they absconded money. And that's what all these human trafficking compounds that I talk about are doing. They're doing the romance scam. And you've also got job scams where you get a text from somebody saying that you can earn between $70 and $150 an hour working 1 hour a day. If you're available, it's open. Then the first thing you do, they'll start chatting to you, try to get you off WhatsApp onto Telegram. They'll figure out whether you're male or female, your age group, and then they'll just keep chatting to you until you fall for the scam. So don't let those people wear you down. But it's pretty amazing at the moment. All right, so that's about us. Susie just posted another message in here. Someone had been stringing me along. Oh, Susie, was he a good-looking sailor? Was he in the army? Was he a sergeant? Was he an admiral? Was he a colonel? And then they started, it started on WhatsApp, then moved to Telegram. So, yeah, if they're asking you, I ring them. As soon as you get one of those messages, hit ring. They won't answer the phone. And if you're really clever, do a video call with them because they definitely won't answer the video call. But in these compounds, Jim Browning was in a video of Ken Gamble and also Aaron West, 3 people that fight scams. And they showed a model that was in the room answering and talking to these people who didn't believe that they were true and genuine. And they actually showed that. It was quite good. Jim Browning, if you go search for Jim Browning's YouTube channel, you can watch his last video and you'll actually see that one of the romance scams was actually being ran from within Dubai. And they raided the building and got 2,000 people out of the building. And they all got, released, sent back to their own countries and the like. So it's rampant out there. It's not something it's something that happens every day. All right, Rob, you got anything you want to say here?
No. Well, the last thing here is I just asked, what's the average return on the Standard & Poor's 500 over the last 20 years, which is 500 biggest companies, I think, in North America. Don't quote me on that. And it says over the past 20 years, the S&P 500 index has delivered the following average annual returns. On average, 9.75% per year. So that's the best and the brightest and the biggest companies, right, year after year, 9.75. So if you get a return of about 9.75%, or say 0.1x per annum, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. After inflation was taken off, it worked out to about 7% per year. So when someone comes along and says, we can give you 300% per year, and we've never done it before, it's a new idea, just think, how risky do you think that really is?
But you just don't understand crypto, Rob.
I know. And that was one of the things that came out of that Bloomberg documentary too, is that a lot of the commenters were saying, oh, but this isn't about crypto. And they're actually right, because what those people they were using crypto basically to get people to pay into the projects. But as quite a few people had said, if people had actually taken that money, like that 100,000 or whatever, and actually invested it straight into a cryptocurrency, by the laws of averages, they would probably have been better off, if only because instead of getting no return, they would get something back.
Look who's in the house.
Who's in the house? Is Crypto G in the house?
Yeah. Yep. And seriously, anyone, if you've got scammed, check out our website, theheck.com. We've got a team of brilliant minds. We've got something big going down at the moment to do in Washington, D.C., which I haven't told you about, Rob. And we've got our two best fighters in there providing information to something that could literally go to Donald Trump. And could be. We could be helping Donald Trump out, which you'll be happy about. Don't start. And they have asked us to submit some wallet addresses of people who are victims. And I said, why don't you stop grabbing the people at the bottom of the cliff? And why don't we go to the people at the top of the cliff? That's one thing I did say. However, Crypto G said he's got 5,000 tags on crypto wallet address that have done, shady activities. Who the hell would have, say it again?
Naughty stuff.
5,000 tags. That means Crypto G does not have a life. He's sitting there watching every transaction, documenting, tagging it. I mean, if anyone's going to crack this fraud stuff, it'll be Crypto G and Susie, and I'll get the credit.
You can see somewhere in the south of England is a guy who is literally doing this. One.
Yeah.
Two.
With a cigar, a pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it's good stuff. And honestly, that sort of made it really cool. Hey, do you like my new t-shirt? I got it off my favorite shop.
It's got a hole in the middle, mate.
No signal.
It's got a hole in the middle.
Look at that. Look at
it's got a hole where your heart should be.
I could play with my nipples with that one.
You could if you had any.
It's quite a cool t-shirt. I got one in every colour. I thought I actually threw out my...
For having me on.
That's right. Well, we'll call it quits there. Rob's, we could be the two Ronnies, like I say. It's good night from him, good night from me. Oh, here we go. Hold up. There we go. Crypto's just come back with a comment. We have to read this now. He's got a spanner in the works.
Cost of capital, according to many in US, is 12%. So unless you are outperforming the Standard & Poor's, you are silently getting poorer. That's Crypto G, who is an inflation conspiracist.
Is that nice? Yeah, coming from an antique dealer who's trying to get out of the industry for the last 10 years.
There's nothing like a low blow.
Yeah, whole in Bitcoin.
Midnight
whole in Bitcoin.
He can't defend himself.
I know. Yeah. There we go. Any last words? Susie's laughing. That's good. No, we've got a fantastic team. But seriously, guys, if you have been scammed and you're hoping to get your money back, you ain't got a shit show in hell. Just saying. And if you want to know where your money's gone, we're probably good to tell you where it's gone, other than throwing it out the window onto the street. But we don't like you getting ripped off. And these guys that run these scams are pretty clever. And they gaslight you into thinking a certain way. And when we try to preach the message to you, we get called scammers. So it's sort of a funny battle, really. Don't know how to fix it sometimes.
Entertainment at the end of the day until someone loses an eye.
Yeah, and that's why we laugh. Low blows are the only way. So he's a good supporter there. Good on you, Crypto G. Woo, high five on that. Well, that's the Avengers, and I'm Danny DeHeck, a.k.a. the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, and I'm here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam, and Rob is here.
Because I'm tired.
Good night, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.